Stick around to see how I transformed my late grandfather's crusty old work truck that had been sitting for 26 years from this to this. 2 years ago, my father and I kicked off this build by unburying our 1975 Ford F150 from the lumber shed. And boy did we get this build started with a bang. With the truck freed from its slumber, we started by stripping the truck down to its bare chassis. We removed the front clip, the cab, the bed, and the drivetrain. I took the bare chassis back to my workshop to start the short bed conversion. I took 16 inches out of the center of the chassis and 4 inches off the back. Next, I removed all of the old suspension, brackets, and cross members in preparation for the installation of the QA1 suspension kits. Sandblasting revealed several rotten areas in the chassis, so I set about repairing all the weak points in the frame and plugging the dozens and dozens of unnecessary holes in the chassis. It was finally time for paint and primer. I used Eastwood 2-part epoxy chassis paint. Next, I cleaned up the original Ford 9-inch housing. I installed new 379 gears, helical gear positraction, and new axles to freshen up the rear differential. With a clean slate, my brother-in-law Phil helped me install the QA1 front and rear coilover conversion kits. There we go. With the chassis complete, I moved on to repairing the rust and shortening the bed to match the chassis. Now this bed was in exceptionally rough condition, so I decided early on in the process to leave all the weld lines exposed and just try to paint match the patch panels as best as possible. Yeah, there we go. That was it. I'm just gonna come in here, mark this panel again. In addition to the standard 16-inch removal from the front of the bed, I decided to bob 4 inches off the back. The tail on these old den-side trucks is just too long for my liking, so this modification helped improve some of the truck's proportions. After you finish watching the video, head over to codybuilds.com. Check out all the merchandise I have available right now. I've got a couple stickers, I've got can koozies, I've got a t-shirt featuring Elsworth, my 1975 Ford F150. So if you're interested in supporting my channel, head over to codybuilds.com and pick up some merchandise. Now let's get back to the video. Let me reposition. Oh, there it goes. Okay, not how I wanted this to go. All right. Okay, that wasn't exactly what I planned, but hey, we got it off the truck. After completing the bed repairs, I was flying high, but I was about to come crashing back down to earth. When I got the cab back into the garage and I realized just how bad of shape it was in, I knew I was in for a long road ahead. You can see here the floor is just gone. I mean, it's completely gone. They patched all the way up into here, so we're gonna have to redo all this. There's a great big hole back here. There's 2 layers of the bed of the cab here. That's all gone, and it kind of carries all the way across this line right here in front of this support. That interrocker panel is shot. So we have our work cut out for us. There is a solid, probably 3/8 to 1/2 inch gap between the inner rocker and the outer rocker. There's a lot of rust up here around where the steering column bolts in. There's some corrosion up in here as well. It's pretty extensive, guys. I mean, I curse myself for having sentimental attachments to things because
this is gonna be an extreme repair. This is not something I would touch with a 10-foot pole if this wasn't my grandpa's truck. We can make it right, but it's gonna take more time. It's gonna take more effort than I originally anticipated. It's a mess. It's a big time mess, probably more than I originally bargained for. The first time I looked at the truck, I didn't realize just what extent the condition of the truck was in.
All right already. Quit your complaining and get on with it.
Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, man. Ooh, I'm super pumped. I did not expect that at all. Heck yes.
While most of the repair panels are available for purchase, there are several that are not. I ended up hand fabricating new outer rocker panels, door jamb patches, kick panels, and firewall panels. With the repair work out of the way, I decided to build a custom bead-rolled firewall panel. Finally, I was able to bodywork the firewall, door jambs, and the kick panels, then prime and paint them to complete the cab. The sheet metal work was finally behind me, and it was time to focus on the power plant. I picked up a cheap FE360 off Facebook Marketplace and was pleasantly surprised when I found that it had actually grown by 30 cubic inches. That's right, my lowly 360 turned out to be a worn out 390. To keep costs down, I did a simple garage home. I did take the crankshaft to a local machine shop to have the main journals and the rod journals turned down, but all the other work was completed in the garage. The heads were disassembled, cleaned in an electrolysis tank, then the valves were lapped and the heads reassembled. I installed new cam, crank, and rod bearings, polished the pistons and installed new rings, a mild cam, and all new gaskets. I topped off the engine with a cheap eBay aluminum intake and some fresh Ford blue paint. With the engine rebuild out of the way, I mated a Tremec TKX 5-speed to the 390 and built a custom transmission crossmember to make it all fit. Next up was a custom stainless 3-inch X-pipe exhaust system complete with Black Widow Venom 250 mufflers. From here, the build was kicked into overdrive as my dad, my father-in-law, and my friends Jeff and Shay came up to help me plumb the fuel system, insulate the cab, and paint the inner fenders and core support. My grandfather was a carpenter. I found one of his old circular saw boxes and I knew I had to incorporate it into the build somehow. So I used it as a custom battery box. The last step before test firing the engine was wiring the truck. I used a painless wiring harness in conjunction with the Holley Terminator ECU and the Sniper CDI box. With the engine plumbed and wired, I installed the front clip and prepared for the first test fire. The most nerve-wracking day of the entire build, the first start.
The moment of truth is finally here. Everything's wired up, everything's ready to go. Let's say a small prayer maybe. I'm very nervous about this. We checked everything. Everything should be good to go. I'm gonna fire it, see if it fires. So here we go. All right, this is it. Moment of truth.
While it wasn't without excitement,
All right, oh, there goes the yoke, and it dumped all the transmission fluid out.
it was ultimately a smashing success.
We got 70 pounds of oil pressure. It's running about 14 air to fuel. We're doing really good.
One of the most satisfying moments came when I turned my attention to the heavily oxidized paint. Using wool pads and heavy cutting compounds, I was able to slowly restore some luster to the tired old paint, and oh boy was it ever a transformation.
What a transformation. I mean, look at that. It's unreal.
The only thing standing between me and the road was the interior. I cleaned and painted the original seat frame, cut and stained a custom wood headliner, recovered the seat, buffed the interior paint, detailed the original door panels, and finally installed new carpet and the bench seat. And just like that, after 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears, it was finally time to enjoy Elsworth. You see, Elsworth was my grandfather's name, and I could think of no better tribute to the man that sparked my interest in building things with my bare hands than to name the truck that I poured so much love into over the past 2 years. So that's how we got to this point. 2 years of building this truck, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome. Is it a perfect show truck? No. Is it a fun little ripper? Yes. I can enjoy this thing. I can beat on it. I can bang on it. We know I've touched every single nut and bolt in this truck myself, from the crank bolts all the way to the finishing details in the interior. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want more details about the build process, go back and check out the rest of my videos. I've got nearly 100 videos on the build of this truck with much more detail in them. If you liked what you saw today, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. We've got a fun little community going here. We're just over 11,000 subscribers, and we just keep growing week after week. And I really appreciate all of you who have already subscribed to the channel. And for you regulars, as always, if you don't work on your projects, they will not work on themselves. Get out in the garage, get building, and I'll see you on the next episode of Cody Builds.